You asked me about Caitlin. If you're going to break a record, to me, if it's legitimate, you have to break that record in the same amount of time that that player set it.
So no Caitlin Clark. Sheryl Swoopes. No Caitlin Clark.
Imagine being a WNBA legend and completely forgetting about the rookie who's turning the league upside down. That's exactly what Sheryl Swoopes did, and Stephen A. Smith wasn't having it. What could make a basketball icon overlook the hottest name in women's hoops? While legends clash off the court, a new force is taking over on it. Caitlin Clark isn't just playing basketball, she's rewriting the rules. But here's the kicker. Her success might be the very thing causing all this friction. What could one player possibly do to shake up an entire league? Let's talk numbers for a second. Clark's averaging 17.8 points, 5.8 rebounds, and 8.3 assists per game. Those aren't just good stats for a rookie. They're turning heads across the WNBA. But it's not just about the numbers. Clark's got something special, a spark that's lighting up arenas and TV screens alike. You might be wondering, what makes Clark so different? Picture this, a player who moves like she's got eyes in the back of her head, threading passes through impossible gaps. One moment she's dishing out assists like candy, the next she's draining threes from way downtown. That's Caitlin Clark on the court. But here's where things get really interesting. The Indiana Fever, Clark's team, is now leading the WNBA in average game attendance. Not only that, they're topping the charts for TV viewership too. Think about it. When was the last time you heard people buzzing about WNBA ratings? Clark's not just playing the game, she's changing how people watch it. She's got this electricity about her, the kind that makes you lean forward in your seat every time she touches the ball. You can feel the energy she brings to the court, even through the TV screen. And it's not just fans who are noticing. Clark's style of play is shaking things up in the league. She's fast, she's fearless, and she's got skills that make seasoned pros do a double take. It's like she took the WNBA playbook and said, "Thanks, but I'll write my own." Now, you might think everyone would be thrilled about this. A rookie coming in and boosting attendance, ratings, and excitement. Sounds like a win-win, right? Well, not so fast. See, Clark's not just making waves. She's causing a full-on tsunami in the WNBA, and not everyone's ready to serve. Some league veterans are watching this 22-year-old redefine their game, and they're not all smiles about it. Think about it. You've got players who've been in the league for years, who've paid their dues and fought hard for every bit of recognition. Then along comes this rookie who's suddenly the talk of the town. It's enough to ruffle some feathers. But here's the thing. Clark isn't trying to step on anyone's toes. She's just playing her game the only way she knows how. It just so happens that her game is exactly what the WNBA needed to inject some fresh energy and attract new fans. Clark's impact is undeniable, but it's stirring up some unexpected reactions. Why would a four-time WNBA champion seem to have a problem with this rookie sensation? The answer could reveal a deeper issue in women's basketball. You might think everyone in the WNBA would be celebrating Clark's success, but there's a twist in this story that's got people talking. Sheryl Swoopes, a legend in her own right, seems to have a bone to pick with the rookie phenom. And it's not just a little disagreement. We're talking about a full-blown clash of generations. Let's break it down. On her podcast, Swoopes was talking about the Indiana Fever. She praised some players, gave others a nod, but there was one glaring omission.
You asked me about Caitlin. If you're going to break a record, to me, if it's legitimate, you have to break that record in the same amount of time that that player set it.
See more of her, and they're tuning in because they want to see what she's going to do. You're going to get to see so much more than that.
Caitlin Clark, the rookie who's been lighting up the court, didn't even get a mention. Now, you might be thinking, so what? Maybe she just forgot. But here's the thing. When you're talking about a team that's leading the league in attendance and TV ratings, how do you forget the player who's largely responsible for that surge? This isn't just any player we're talking about here. Swoopes is a basketball icon. We're talking 3 Olympic gold medals and 4 WNBA championships. She's been there, done that, and got the t-shirt. So when someone with those kind of credentials seems to ignore Clark's contributions, people start asking questions. But wait, there's more to this story. This isn't the first time Swoopes has had something to say about Clark. In fact, she's made some pretty controversial comments before. She claimed Clark was in her 5th year of eligibility, which isn't true. She also said Clark takes 40 shots per game. Now, Clark's got a hot hand, no doubt, but 40 shots? That's a major exaggeration. So what's really going on here? Is this just a case of a veteran player being tough on a rookie?
If Kelsey Plum set that record in 4 years, Well, Caitlin should have broke that record in 4 years. So she's already had an extra year to break that record. So is it truly a broken record? Yeah, that'll go in the record books as Caitlin Clark is the all-time, whatever it is. I don't even know what the number is.
Or is there something else at play? Some folks are starting to wonder if there might be a hint of jealousy in the mix. After all, Clark's not just playing well, she's changing the game. She's bringing in new fans, boosting ratings, and getting people excited about women's basketball in a way we haven't seen in years. But let's take a step back for a second. This isn't just about Swoopes and Clark. It's about how the WNBA as a whole is dealing with this new wave of talent. Clark's not the only young player making waves, but she's definitely making the biggest splash, and that's bound to ruffle some feathers. Think about it from the perspective of players who've been in the league for years. They've worked hard, fought for every bit of recognition, and now this rookie comes in and seems to get all the attention overnight. It's not hard to see why some might feel a little salty. But here's where it gets really interesting. Swoopes isn't backing down from her comments. When people called her out for seemingly ignoring Clark, she fired back. She said, "You talk about whomever and whatever you want to on your podcast, correct? So why can't I?" It's like she's saying, "Hey, this is my show and I'll talk about who I want to talk about." But is that really fair? When you're discussing a team's performance, can you really leave out their star player? Especially when that player is putting up numbers like 17.8 points, 5.8 rebounds, and 8.3 assists per game. Those aren't just good stats for a rookie. They're great stats, period. Stephen A. Smith just dropped a truth bomb that's left the sports world stunned. His defense of Caitlin Clark isn't just passionate, it's downright explosive. But is he right? Or did he just pour gasoline on an already raging fire? Smith didn't hold back when he called out Sheryl Swoopes for her comments about Caitlin Clark. He went straight for the jugular, asking, "Respectfully, Sheryl Swoopes, do you have any idea how that makes you look?" But he didn't stop there. Smith took it up a notch, declaring, "Do you realize, Sheryl Swoopes, you're insane to do that?" Now, you might be wondering why Smith felt the need to step into this fight. After all, he's not exactly known for holding his tongue.
Haterade in the league in regards to Clark started with WNBA legend Sheryl Swoopes herself. So no Caitlin Clark. Sheryl Swoopes. No Caitlin Clark. She recently spoke on her podcast, Queens of the Court, and didn't mention the rookie when speaking. Do you realize that, Sheryl Swoopes, you're insane to do that?
But this time, it seems personal. Smith isn't just defending Clark, he's standing up for the future of women's basketball. Let's break it down. Smith sees Clark as a game changer, someone who's bringing new life to the WNBA. He's not wrong. Remember those attendance and viewership numbers we talked about? That's all thanks to Clark. So when Swoopes seemingly ignores Clark's impact, Smith sees red. But here's where it gets really interesting. Smith doesn't just defend Clark. He goes out of his way to praise Swoopes' basketball knowledge. He says, "You know basketball better than me. You know basketball better than most of the men that play basketball." It's like he's saying, "Come on, Cheryl, you're better than this." Smith's argument boils down to this. Clark isn't just being overlooked, she's being unfairly targeted. He sees a pattern of established players and commentators trying to downplay Clark's impact, and he's not having it. But wait, there's more to this story. Swoopes isn't taking Smith's criticism lying down. She fired back, accusing Smith of jumping to conclusions without listening to her entire podcast episode. Swoopes defended her right to talk about whoever she wants on her own show, asking, "You talk about whomever and whatever you want to on your podcast, correct? So why can't I?" It's a fair question, but is it really addressing the heart of the issue? Smith isn't just calling out Swoopes for not mentioning Clark. He's pointing out a broader problem in how the WNBA community is responding to this rising star. And think about it.
You got to sit up there and pay attention to the rising tide. It lifts all boats. Caitlin Clark, with the fierceness that your competitive juices demand. Caitlin Clark deserves love, not just respect, love.
Clark isn't just any rookie. She's a phenomenon who's bringing new fans to the game. You'd think the league would be celebrating her success. Instead, we're seeing pushback from some of the very people who should be her biggest cheerleaders. This isn't just about Clark anymore. It's about the future of the WNBA and who gets to shape its narrative. Are we going to embrace new talent and the changes they bring? Or are we going to cling to the old ways of doing things? Smith's passionate defense of Clark isn't just about one player. It's a call for the WNBA to embrace change and growth. He's saying, look, we've got something special here. Let's not mess it up because of ego or tradition. But here's the million-dollar question. Is Smith right? Is Clark really being ostracized within the WNBA community? Or is this just a case of growing pains as the league adjusts to a new superstar?